Hello, my name is Merk. This is my channel. Welcome. We've recently started a series called Libraries of Outlands, and it has to do with all the books available throughout the Outlands. We were going to do one video, but there's way too many books and it's going to take way too long, and the video would have been like 3 days long. So we decided to do one single video on each book that we could find. Maybe sometimes we'll combine it and have 2 or 3. We'll see. I'm going to briefly go over the basics for weapon and parry codexes. Again, codex allow players to enhance their weapon skills by leveling the codex stances, as well as unlocking finishers and abilities for their particular weapon skill. All this can be found, by the way, at the website shown above. Players are able to craft codices with the inscription skill. All codices are blessed and cannot be stolen. The fencing codex requires 80 skill points in tactics and fencing. This must be a printed 80, not increased through magic 80. Each character's codex profile is stored per character and not in the item. So each character has their own experience with that codex. You gotta have the codex in the backpack to level it and use it. You can't use weapon abilities and finishers on backstabs. You gain experience points towards your codex by killing creatures with the weapon type matching the codex. So all those staffs. So you can double click the codex and you can see the progress and the menus and all the things you need there. On the top half of the codex gump, you'll see the 5 stances that you can advance in. You click the large button next to each stance to activate it. The small button gives you information about each one, which we'll be going over for Arcane in this video. You can only have one active stance for each codex you have active. Every time you change a stance, it will cost you 3 mana. There's no cooldown. Each stance can be upgraded with upgrade points up to rank 7. There's a codex hotbar, and if you select the stance in that, whatever stance that you select in that hotbar will auto-renew, so it will reactivate every 10 seconds. When a player reaches rank 5 in any stance for a skill, it unlocks the ability to select a finisher. If you have a finisher active, these finishers are large-scale weapon hits, and they often deliver special effects, which we'll talk about. Each codex has 2 finishers that you can choose from, at no cost. You can only trigger 1 finisher on each mob. But if you have a boss type creature, you can trigger a finisher every 60 seconds. Exceptions to that will be included in the discipline aspect armor set. The finisher has tiers. Every time you reach rank 5 in a stance, you'll get the opportunity to increase your finisher. Each tier of finisher has 2% more finisher chance. To occur is also scaled along with this weapon speed. The slower the weapon is, the more likely you are to hit it with a single swing. Each one of these codex has 3 weapon abilities that you can unlock and activate. It takes 50 points to unlock. Once unlocked, the lock symbol of the weapon is replaced with a large orb-shaped weapon ability button. In order for a player to perform weapon ability, the weapon ability meter must be full. All weapon abilities for players share the same weapon ability cooldown. Every 6 seconds, the player's weapon ability meter will fill by 10%, and by an additional 10% depending on your arms lore. This means that you can have 60-second cooldown, but can be decreased all the way down to 24 seconds. Once toggled, the weapon ability will trigger on the next melee hit a player lands, and the weapon meter will be reset, so it's controllable during combat. You can open a codex hotbar, which allows players to quickly change and view their stances, finishers, weapon abilities in one place, as well as set their stance to auto-renew or monitor their weapon ability meter. The codex hotbar can be accessed via the hotbar button at the bottom of the codex gump. Let's look at the wrestling codex. Okay, to begin with, we have the stances. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stances. 2 finishers and 3 weapon abilities. The first stance is called Dragon. Weapon specials will consume up to 5 mana to increase damage by 5% per rank for each mana consumed. Bonus, doubled for first 10 seconds after adopting the stance. The second one is called Crab Stance. Your weapon swings will increase your damage resistance by 3% per rank
for 5 seconds. This does not stack. This is also doubled for the first 10 seconds after adopting stance. The spider stance. This deals an additional 5% damage per rank, inflicted to a random 2 additional targets within 2 tiles. This is also doubled for the first 10 seconds after adopting the stance. The next stance is Monkey, which is one of my favorites. Landing 3 hits in a row increases the damage of the third hit by 15% per rank. The bonus is doubled for the first 10 seconds after adopting the stance. And the last stance is Crane Stance. It has a 2.5% chance per rank on melee hit to restore 10 health points. This is also doubled for the first 10 seconds after adopting the stance. The first finisher that we'll look at here is Chi Thrust. It inflicts 150% of weapon damage to target. It will consume up to 25 mana and increase damage by 50% per mana consumed. The second one is Zen Strike. Inflicts 350% of damage to the target and restores 25 health, 25 stamina, and 25 mana. Now you have 3 weapon abilities to unlock. The first one is Brawl. For the next 15 seconds, each hit increases accuracy, damage, and attack speed by 4%. This is scaled by weapon speed as well, up to a maximum of 20%. The next weapon ability is Haymaker. For the next 15 seconds, player can trigger finishers when target is at 50% health or below, or after a 45-second cooldown on bosses. Now the last weapon ability is Takedown. A melee hit that triggers ability has a 100% chance of weapon special and will apply 300% of normal weapon special effect. So that's pretty nice too. A lot of people use the wrestling codex and wrestling skills with different aspects. One of the favorites that people use it with, I would say, is Discipline. Madness is another. Arcane, possibly. That's something I'm testing right now. Let me go through them here and tell you what I think, starting with Air. Air is pretty good with any type of melee. It speeds up your hits, of course. Artisan Blood was okay. Command is okay. Death is okay. Discipline, one of the primaries. Earth is always good, especially when you're first starting out. It's fairly cheap right now. I don't know how long that'll last. Eldritch is fair. It keeps your mana a little higher, so you can keep making those stances work for you. Fire's okay. It's got some reflective abilities. Fortune is always good if you're trying to raise some points in chain experience or whatever. Frost is decent. Gadget, man, special. Harvest is special. Holy's good. Lightning's good. Lyric, Madness, that's what I'm doing mine on right now. I'm running mine on Madness. Running Discipline armor and Madness weapon. Poison, Shadow, Void is good. It also helps with your mana. Water's decent. Helps with healing. That's about it. Alright, thanks for checking out the video, and until next time, peace.